Hi, I'm Sylvia, and I'm going to be talking about how I'm building my self-trust. Where do I even begin with this? For a long time, I've realized how much I've been abandoning myself. I've been abandoning my needs. I've been abandoning my wants. I've been abandoning just who I am as a person, I think, and trying to confine that into palatable, packageable box that was good for my family, friends, relationships, career. Yeah, just the people I surrounded myself around. I felt like I was just denying what I actually really wanted and desired because I thought that it was safe for me to do that. And I thought that it was the right thing at the time, I guess. And also, it just comes out of fear too, like fear of wanting to fully embody the person that I want to be. And yeah, I think that came with a lot of issues. And I think those issues came to light, especially during my Saturn return. I went through my Saturn return this past year, and it was a lot. There was a lot of things that happened. There was a lot of realizations that I had, a lot of life decisions that occurred. And one of the things that happened was I had a business and a brand with my sister and with my family for 7 years. And we decided to close our doors last year. And that was like a huge stepping stone into the version that I am becoming and the person that I want to become. We closed for a variety of reasons, but the main thing the reason why I didn't want to continue forward was because the fashion industry just didn't feel fully aligned for me. And I knew that that wasn't the end all be all of my life. I wasn't passionate about it. It didn't light me up. It exhausted me. It took a lot out of me. I did give it my all. I gave it everything that I had. And I think that was the problem with it too, is like, I guess there was a couple of things. Like one of the things is like, if I can live a life and give my all into something that I didn't truly love, what would my life look like if I fully gave my all into something that I actually love? That was something that sort of jump started this whole journey of like realizing how much I've been abandoning myself, realizing that I wanted to build trust in myself again, realizing that I didn't really have a lot of self-trust to begin with because I was outsourcing it to the people around me and I wasn't fully in my worth and in my own knowing at the time. And obviously, these are still things that I'm working on, but with the time that's passed, it's just there's a lot of realizations and awakenings that I'm having about who I was, the person I am, and the person I'm becoming. So what self-trust means to me is being able to commit to yourself and being able to honor yourself and listen to yourself without having the external factors affect you. And for me, I knew that I had a very low level of self-trust because I couldn't make decisions on my own and I didn't feel confident in the decisions that I was making on my own. So I think I'm going to get a little bit into that when I talk about the 5 ways that I'm rebuilding my self-trust. So number 1, spend time with yourself. So spending time with yourself is, I think, the most like the foundation of building self-trust. For a long time, I felt like I outsourced all of my time and energy towards other people. And I think that something that I realized was how little I spent time alone. And I'm talking about like intentional quiet time without listening to music, time without listening to a podcast. I think that I spent a lot of time trying to fill that time, if I wasn't with family, with work and with listening to podcasts about productivity, just trying to do everything to maximize the time I was spending, which of course led to a burnout, and it led to me completely just exhausted of any energy and time for myself. And I think that spending time with yourself is the most important thing to building self-trust, because in that time alone, you are able to reconnect with yourself, with your inner voice. And how you do that is literally quieting your mind. That also for me looks like going on walks, listening to a meditation, a guided meditation, 10 minutes of stretching. By doing those practices, I was able to open up and actually quiet the noise. Self-trust is also, for me, listening to your intuition and tapping into your intuition. I think for a long time, I was abandoning that version. I was blocking that voice and not allowing that voice to fully emerge. And I think that I was covering it up with distractions and with things that I thought I was supposed to be doing, when in reality, that inner voice is the thing I should be following, and the thing that is going to tell me and give me the clarity that I need. So number 2 is exploring your interests. I think that for a long time, I didn't have a lot of interests because all of my time and interests, I was like making it be about work, especially building a business and building a brand. I felt guilty almost not always working on the business because I was like, we need to be successful. I need to do everything I can because it's not just about me. It's about also helping my family. It's about making a name for myself. It's about all these things. And I think that I used work as an excuse to say no to a lot of things. I made work my hobby, which was a really horrible thing that I did for myself because I didn't really have a life outside of work. I didn't create a life outside of work because I was working myself to the ground. So since we closed the business, I've been taking time to explore myself. What that means is exploring my interests. I always was interested in painting. I was always interested in writing. I was always interested in so many different things. And something that I've learned is to be okay at being a beginner at something, being okay with making mistakes and embracing those mistakes and failing was instrumental in building a big level of self-trust. Because by exploring new interests and allowing yourself to be a beginner builds a sense of self-confidence because you're able to rely on yourself and also trust yourself that, if you make mistakes, you can learn and you can get better at something. You show yourself that it's possible to learn something and to be okay with the fact that it's not going to be perfect, to be okay with the fact that things aren't going to be exactly how you envisioned it to be at the first time. It's just about showing yourself that it's possible, that you can make mistakes, fall, get back up, and make mistakes again, fall, get back up. And in that process, you're almost desensitizing yourself from giving yourself a hard time that you're not going to get something right. Number 3, keep your goals small and actionable. Having small, actionable goals that you can do every single day and commit to and actually follow through with is one of the keys to building self-trust, because self-trust is all about showing yourself that it's possible, that you can rely on yourself and that you can count on yourself and trust the decisions that you make for yourself. And when you make small, actionable goals, for example, making a goal to drink water in the morning every single day, maybe it's waking up and making sure you take your vitamins every single day. It could also be going on a 10-minute walk. These small actionable goals are the absolute key and foundation to building self-trust. And that has really, really helped me show myself that I can trust myself, and I can trust that I can make a goal, set out and do something and actually commit to it. And that these small goals that you end up following through with allows you to create bigger goals and bigger goals and even bigger goals and do that. I used to set goals like I couldn't achieve. I had the endless to-do tasks, having a list of to-dos for the day, and then that rolling over to the next day, and then the next day, and the next day, and then it ends up being a huge long list. And I feel like I was always drowning. I feel like I was just barely scratching the surface of what I could be doing and what I was doing. And it ended up always making me feel like I wasn't doing enough, and that no matter how hard I tried, I wasn't doing enough. And that's not a really great place to be, because that is essentially you're doing the opposite and showing yourself that, hey, I can't follow through on a huge laundry list of things that I need to get done. And in turn, that makes you feel like you can't trust yourself and you can't rely on yourself. It took me a really long time to be okay with setting small goals, as crazy as that sounds. And that is probably the most like Capricorn thing that I could ever say. It's just small actionable steps that you can take to show yourself that it's possible to make a goal and to actually commit to it and follow through with it. And through following through with those goals, you're showing yourself that it's possible to rely on yourself. Number 4 is practicing your autonomy. What I mean by that is practicing your ability to make decisions and making intentional decisions for yourself. As someone that has also struggled with codependence, I used to always allow other people's decision to dictate my day, to dictate my meal, to dictate big life decisions. I was just doing a lot of things to please other people. But I think that practicing autonomy is making an active decision and a choice for yourself. If you feel like you are following the lead of someone else, and it could easily feel like you don't have any autonomy, but in reality, it's like you always have the choice. Number 5 is recognize when you're gaslighting yourself. I think it's very easy to gaslight yourself when you've been putting your needs on the back burner. I got so used to gaslighting myself to the point that it happened so quickly. Like, if I felt like I wanted to do something, it was almost automatic and an immediate thing of like, I don't actually want it and why I shouldn't want it. And it was so like conditioning myself to actually like ignore and override my needs. And also it took me a long time to even understand that those were my needs and my wants. It's really about slowing down, and instead of trying to override a thought right away that comes through, to kind of sit with it and not be so quick to be like, make an excuse as to why you don't want it or need it. So I think that's something that has helped me a lot, is to slow down and to be okay in that space of discomfort, because it is incredibly uncomfortable sitting down with your thoughts and your feelings and emotions. It can be extremely heavy work, and obviously it does not happen overnight. And it's something that I'm still working on to this day, is knowing when I'm making excuses or feeling shame about things that I want. When you write off certain experiences or feelings that you have, almost manipulate yourself into thinking like it wasn't that bad. And I think that's something that I used to do a lot. I would be going through something and being like, wow, like this was like the craziest experience of my life. I feel so small. I feel like I'm not being heard. I'm not being seen or respected. Basically telling myself that it actually wasn't that bad. And maybe I was the one being too dramatic, or maybe I was the one that was being selfish or insecure or out of line. And I think that's something that is very easy to do when you're also like a people pleaser as well, which I feel like that's also something I'm dealing with as well. And working through and trying to navigate is honoring my own boundaries and my own needs in a way that feels good to me, and it's not fawning or trying to please other people. The main point of all of this is learning how to create safety in yourself. Because I think that for people that are struggling with building their sense of trust in self is really like feeling unsafe with yourself and the decisions that you make, and being unsafe in your body too. And I also think that's where a lot of like somatic work is very helpful. It's definitely helped me, is like learning how to tap into your body and to tap into what your body is wanting and needing and telling you. So these are some of the ways that I've been rebuilding my sense of self-trust again and learning how to really honor my own needs and my own wants. These are just a few of the things that I've done, but I hope that it's helped you recognize if you've been abandoning yourself or abandoning your needs. And I hope it gives you some tools and some ideas of how to build that sense of self-trust and self-worth and self-confidence again. Just thinking about like me a couple months ago and being at a complete loss of like how I should go about this, what I should do. This is truly for that version of myself. The underlying thing of all of this and all of the points that I'm making is leading with curiosity about yourself. And I also think that it's really important in this process to give yourself a lot of grace and compassion, because there's going to be days, speaking from experience for me, there's so many days, there's still days where I just felt so low and sad and confused and unsure of the direction I'm going and unsure of like why I am the way that I am. I would love to hold space for you if you're feeling that way. You are exactly beautiful and perfect the way that you are. And it's just about embracing your imperfections, because we all have it. Life isn't easy, and I understand that. And life can be very hard and difficult, and it can be lonely, and it can be confusing and unfair. I see you, would like to honor that part of you. I really hope that this helped you. I hope that you just feel less lonely in this journey, because I'm going through it too, and you're not alone. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next one.